Hello and welcome to the scheduling orientation video for the 2023 and 2024 school year. So what we're going to go over in this video are really the big outlines that we want to make sure everyone is doing. We want first for students to be learning about and researching their class options. We want everyone to be talking with their current teachers, with their families. We're going to go over the online scheduling procedure, and then we wrap everything up with a counseling meeting to finalize requests for next year. So first is learning about courses. So we really hope that everyone takes the time to look at our course guide, which is linked here. There's also a QR code if that's easier. But on this page, we have everything from specific graduation requirements, descriptions of classes. Some of the classes have videos from their teachers that describe a little bit more about what that class is like. There is last year's summer assignments list to see what that might look like, CCP information, credit flexibility, and so much more. So that really is a one-stop shop of everything you might need to know about courses available at the high school. So as you go through that process and over the next, hopefully, few weeks learning about courses, we also encourage you to talk with your teachers and your family about classes and options and your goals. So teachers will have a set time where they are going to be talking with their classes about different options for next year, different classes, what they would recommend you take for next year, and so on. So your teachers are a fantastic resource to ask questions about. You can always talk to a specific teacher if you're interested in taking their class. You can talk to department chairs to talk about more specifics about the options. So it's talking with those around you. We also want to make sure you're aware of your graduation requirements. So as hopefully you know, students are required to take 4 classes or credits of English and math, both. So both of those require basically 1 class a year to get to 4 credits. We do require 3 science credits to be taken, and then those specific classes are listed there. 1 has to be a life science, 1 has to be a physical science, and then some sort of advanced science elective. Social studies, there are 3 credits required, and it's those 3 specific classes that are listed here. PE and health is also a requirement. It's half credit of PE courses, which equates to 2 courses. So foundations of fitness and then an elective. Foundations of fitness is typically taken in 9th grade, with health typically being a sophomore year course. 1 full credit of fine arts is required, and that can be anything in the art, music, or theater programs. For our rising juniors and seniors, 5.5 credits of electives are required to meet graduation requirements. For the rising 9th and 10th graders, however, that is where there's been a change. The state now requires a standalone financial literacy course. So we do have a financial literacy course. It is a half credit. Because of that addition, students in those grades only need to earn 5 credits of electives instead of the 5.5 that it was previously. So the next thing that we suggest you do after you've done some research, you've looked up some classes, you've talked to your teachers, as you're talking with your family, we would love to see you draft your schedule out, right? What are the classes that you're thinking of taking? Start with your core academics, right? So in English, math, and most likely a science and a social studies, depending on your grade level and the credits you already have. Consider, do you want to take a global language? Remember that we do require 4 academic classes each semester. Now, our English classes, our math classes, most of our science classes and social studies tend to be full year-long classes. There are some semester electives in math, science, and social studies. Then we also suggest that you look at your graduation requirements. Do you still need a gym class? Do you need health? Do you want that fine art? Do you still need a class? We suggest that you try to take those and get those requirements, the PE, the health, and the fine art, completed early on in high school so that they are not things you're worried about towards the end of your high school experience. And then we want you to plan your electives. So what other classes do you have? If you have your 4 academics and you're taking a PE and health, maybe you're taking a year-long fine arts or a year-long language, you should have at least a bell or 2 perhaps to fill with something else. Do you want a study hall? Do you want time to do some of your work before you get home? Are there other electives that look really interesting to you that you would like to try out? That is what you can do with your electives, and we really hope you push yourself to try something new and explore the different opportunities that we have. So the things to know, the classes that your teachers will recommend to you, those academics, those are already going to be in our online scheduling system when we get to that step. So the nice thing is you should have at least your 4 core academics already outlined for you. And then you're only adding those other additional bells of classes. It is very possible that you want to change one of those courses. Maybe you want to take something other than what your teacher recommended. You want to do something a little different, and that's perfectly okay. That is something that you can discuss and change when you meet with your counselor at the end of this planning process. And then just know as you have questions along the way, don't panic, don't worry. We do have a counselor meeting. We meet with every student to make sure that you get your questions answered and are feeling good about the classes you're looking for. So we suggest that you make a list of your questions that maybe aren't able to be answered by, looking through the course guide or meeting with teachers, and bring those to that meeting that you have with your counselor, and we can discuss and adjust anything as needed. The things that we hope you remember. We hope that you are thoughtful in your selections. There are classes that require summer work, so we want you to keep that in mind as you're picking your schedule and your classes. Our last year's summer assignments can be found on the high school scheduling website. And in general, most accelerated and AP courses require some sort of summer work. Not all of them, but most. So it's probably better to assume that if you're signing up for an accelerated or AP level course, you'll definitely want to go and check out what that summer work looked like last year, so you know what to expect moving forward to next year. And then ultimately, we want you to plan for balance. Consider balancing your academics with your other commitments outside of school, whether it's extracurriculars, it's sports, it's a part-time job, it's family commitments, whatever that might be. We want you to be challenged, yet not overwhelmed. So after all of that, and you've planned out what you think you want to take, the next step is online scheduling. Now, if you remember from last year, you're going to get a unique username and password and instructions right before the online scheduling window opens. We do that because we want to make sure that you don't lose that username and password, because it is it's very unique. It's only for the scheduling process. It's not something that you've used prior. You're going to have 1 week to enter the classes that you would like to take in scheduling. Even if you're not finalized with your plan, we still want you to go online and put in the classes that you think you want to take. Your counselor will meet with you to review everything later on, but this really is an important step because it gives us a starting point to know, what we're looking over with you and what we're talking about. So put in the classes that you're thinking about, and then we can adjust when we meet. And then that counselor meeting. So the last step of this process is that counselor meeting. And so those are to answer any additional questions that you have, to discuss the classes you've selected, to review them, talk about any other options that maybe you haven't considered yet. We will make any needed changes at that time and go over the process for any other questions that come up, what next steps might need to be taken. We are going to go over your graduation requirements with you, and we are going to finalize your class requests. These meetings are pre-scheduled. You don't have to do anything. They are going to be pre-scheduled with your teacher in the different subject areas listed below. So 8th graders are meeting with counselors in their history classes during that last week of February, first few days of March. 9th, 10th, 11th graders, you will be meeting with your counselors in the common areas outside of your different content areas during those last 2 weeks of February. So that'll be pre-scheduled for you. Nothing you need to worry about there. But that's the perfect time to get any final questions that you have out of the way, to go over your plan and really make sure that you're feeling good about the classes that you are asking for. Once we have everyone in our system, then our building administrators are able to go through and start working on planning that larger scale building schedule for the following year. So we look forward to talking with you soon.